Hey everybody, I'm sitting here working out of the Scottsdale office today, and I wanted to go over appraisals with you because I have these top of mind right now. We're actually running into an appraisal issue. But first, before I get into that story, I want to tell you, why we need appraisals, what they look like when one is done on your house, and then what are the three outcomes of an appraisal on your property. So first and foremost, why do we need an appraisal? Well, where are you getting the money from, right? The bank wants to look out for not only your best interest, but first and foremost, their best interest, where they want to make sure that the house you're buying is actually worth what you're paying for it, because they're going to give you anywhere from 80% of the home value all the way up to probably 95% of the home value in this loan. So they want to make sure that asset's worth what you're paying for it. It protects you and it protects them. So what does an appraisal look like? An appraisal for a buyer, you really won't know much about what's going on. For a seller, they're gonna have to contact you to enter the house, right? And once they enter your house, they're gonna do a few different things. They're gonna look at all the upgrades. They're gonna look at comparable sales in the area. And they're also gonna measure your property, amongst other things, right? They're gonna take several notes. They're gonna look at when you bought it last, if you've refied recently, all these fun things with your house. They're gonna go back to their computer, they're gonna look at all those comparable sales, enter their notes, and all of a sudden spit out a value for your home. And it takes about a week or so to complete once it's been ordered and paid for. It's important to note that appraisals do cost money as well. So when buying a home, you have to account for about $450 to $500 for that appraisal to be done. And it's due at the time of the service. Okay, so I want to discuss what happens if an appraisal comes in low on a property that you're trying to sell, because there's three different outcomes that we could run into. So let's just give you some numbers here. We're selling a $300,000 house. If the appraisal comes in at value, then we're good. We have the yellow brick road all the way to the finish line, ready to move into our new house, right? Now, the other two scenarios are not as glorious. If it were to come in low, for example, say we have a $300,000 house, but the appraisal comes in at $270,000. So that's a $30,000 difference between what we agreed to and what the bank thinks it's worth. So how are we gonna fight that? How are we gonna get through this and get to the finish line and actually buy this house? Well, we can actually cancel the contract because of that. In Arizona, the purchase contract allows you to cancel due to a low appraisal. So you get 5 days to decide, do I wanna move forward with this and try to fight this and tweak these numbers, or does this just make me uncomfortable and I just wanna get out, right? Most of the time, the buyers love the house and we're able to work with these appraisals to get them that value. So that leads me to the third scenario, right? We don't want to cancel, we want to keep moving forward. What do we have to do? We have to dispute this appraisal. And the disputes, we're gonna look at several different things, right? We're really gonna dissect the appraisal report and go through, make sure all the material facts are correct, from beds to baths to square footage to upgrades. We want to make sure the appraiser had everything they need to put a solid value on this house. And I'm going through this right now where we had an appraisal come in low. And so the first thing I went to look at was the size of the home. And what I noticed on this appraisal report is they had it measured about 70 square feet less than what I had it at, and what Maricopa County assessors had it at, and what the previous appraisal that we had the square footage at. 70 square feet at $300 a foot is about $22,000. So you may not think it's a huge discrepancy in square footage, but it adds up to a ton of money when you're looking at price per square foot. The second and third thing we want to look for on these reports, just the comparable sales. We want to make sure that they're using relative comps in the area, in the community. Does the appraiser know the area, or are they coming in from somewhere else and they don't understand kind of the invisible boundaries that this house could be put around? So the third thing we want to look at, besides making sure all the facts are straight and the comparable sales are accurate, is they modify for condition of the home. So in most cases, you see a nice remodeled home have bigger adjustments for that condition, right? So you're gonna see the price go up. Say a $10,000 adjustment because the kitchen's remodeled, right? Well, in the scenario that we're in right now, my client didn't upgrade the kitchen and the bathrooms, but what they did upgrade was the entire HVAC system, so $10,000 plus. They put in a stainless steel appliance package. They also redid their water heater. And so when we're looking at these appraisal reports, I wanna make sure that we're not getting docked for conditional items that aren't like the big sexy kitchens, when these mechanical items are just as important of upgrades and also add value to the home. If you're looking to refi or even sell your home, it's important to know that when an appraiser comes in your house, they're a human being, so condition is important. You want it to be clean, you want it to look like showing ready. And if you ever are in a situation where you are going to sell or you are refinancing your house, bring your realtor in. Have them provide comparable sales to the appraiser, an upgrade sheet. Make it really easy for these guys because appraisers are overworked. There's not enough of them. It's really hard to become an appraiser. So if we can just tee up a nice package for them and say, here, we just did your job for you, it's usually going to go pretty smooth. That being said, contact me with any real estate questions, and thanks for watching the video.